shortly after, I went to Japan. That was my first gig abroad. Very shortly after. You know Gomi?
Of course, Kazuhiko Gomi-san.
Yeah, that's right, Gomi.
Bring him up to the table. Gomi, come on in.
Well, it was Satoshi. So Satoshi and I had been working together. So in between Shakedown and New Groove Fourth Floor, or around that time, simultaneously, Judy Weinstein, who had Def Mix, and she and David were partners in the company, you know, and they had that company together, and they came and offered to manage Lenny and I as a production team. Actually, it was 23 West first who managed us, and they were also managing Cole and Clavillis. And first it was 23 West, and that's actually how we got in touch with Martha. So we did a, right. Let me get to that. So we did a song with Martha Wash titled Get Your Thing Together. And we wrote that in around 1989 and recorded it with Martha. But because Martha, I'm gonna guess, because I still don't know to this day the reasons, so I'm gonna guess. She had been going through issues with other records she had released at the time. I believe Black Box was one. And I believe
Make You Sweat, PNC Music Factory.
Right, yeah. I don't know the details of those records, but she didn't want the one that we did with her released. So we couldn't release it. But Next Plateau told us, because it got to the test pressing point. And up until that point, she was okay with it. But you know, something along the way, she didn't like the idea, and total respect to her. We're not going to be
as far as the artistry of the group, or was it under a pseudonym?
It was under a pseudonym.
Probably what it was.
It came out as Urban Rhythm, but not with her voice. Eventually, only test pressings came out with her voice. And she put a stop. She sent a cease and desist, but it was all over Tony's show at the time, and Ralphie D and Lenny D had actually produced it, and then Lenny and I had written it. And I believe all three of us mixed it. It's going back a long time. But anyway, it ended up coming out with Roberta Gilliam. But Next Plateau, Eddie O'Loughlin had Next Plateau at the time. That's the label that released it. And he told us that was the biggest pre-orders they ever had for a record up until that point. So that's really saying a lot, you know, especially for us young, you know, we were young kids. And to have that happen on, you know, one of our first releases together, you know, that's really impressive. But again, you know, no one called me directly for that. I was still sort of working my way up. That ended up coming out as Roberta Gilliam. And jump forward to just now, recently, we did a re-record with it with Ann Nesby over the last 10 years. And, you know, we've put that out recently. That's up on Traxsource. But just to show you the life of a song.
Wait a minute, hang on. And your son over here was the first guy that played it for them.
Wow.
I remember I played it for
yes.
He brought it to Lenny. I got a special project for you. Please play the record. So he sent it to me. I knew the record. I remember Ralphie was involved. Ralphie Daggett.
That's right.
And Ralphie D. And who was the producer? Because he made a video too. Tell us who the producer on the new project was.
Oh, you mean Raph did the mix? That's right. Raph and Soul.
Ralphie D, but Raph.
Yeah, Raph and Soul. That's right. Yeah, he did. That's right. And he videoed you. Yes.
And he calls me up. He says, "I'm coming to the Birdcage at LeBain. Can you please?" I heard the record, and I played it right away.
He did a great job with it, and I mean, the video you was awesome, Len. So yeah, thank you.
Oh yeah, listen. Good people deserve a good promotion. So I was happy to do it.